to my channel. My name is Cynthia. In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful gown you're seeing here. It's a kimono kaftan bubu, the bubu kaftan kimono gown. Alright, it has will I say, it has something like a cape in front, a yoke in front. The yoke is a V yoke, very deep V yoke, and with beads on it. Alright, so I will be using this Ankara fabric for my work. I have two of the fabric laid already, though the gown is going to look like a cow to say. I have a video on how to make a cow gown. I will also put that on the description so you understand this more better. It's more of a cow and also a danchiki kind of gown. Alright, I'm going to start with my neckline. Alright, now the neckline for the front part, I just want to put the bead only on the front part, okay? You can decide to put the beads on the back and also on the front. I want it to be on the front alone. So I'll be using 3 inches for my neck deep, sorry, my neck width, 3.5 inches, and then for the back neckline I'll be using just 3 inches. I think I should get another chalk. So I'll use 3 inches for my neck deep also, and 3 inches for my neck, 3.5 inches for my neck width. That is for the back part. And then for the front part, I will be using 6.5 inches, okay, and the same 3.5 for the width. So I'll just mark. All right, now the next thing I'm going to get now is my hip line, my hip length. All right, the hip length I'm working with is 25 inches, and then I'll come down with extra 4 inches. So 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 29. So I'll be using 29 inches for my hip. So I'll mark that also. Now the gown length I'm working with is 61. I added extra 1 inch for folding that part. Alright, so once you get this, now I'm going to measure my danchiki shoulder. Let me show you how to measure it. I'm going to use a mannequin to explain this. Now this is a mannequin, and this is the center of my client's shoulder. Let's assume this is the center of her shoulder. You tell the client to open up her hand this way. All right, you open it up straight. Let's assume this is a client and the hand is being opened straight. So right now I'm going to measure from where I want my my sleeve opening to be. So I'll measure it this way. All right, so that's how you measure. Now in the case of this client, this client I'm working with, I have 20 inches. All right, I'll be using 20 inches for the shoulder. So I'm going to measure 20 inches. 20 is somewhere here. And then I also need my sleeve opening. All right, so I'll be taking the sleeve opening at I'll be using 11 inches for the sleeve opening. Now I'll be using this to fold my sleeve. All right, I'll be using it to fold the sleeve opening. I'll show you how to do this. Then I'm going to come to the hip side. Now the hip of my client is 56. Divided by 4, you should have 14 inches. So I'll place my 14 inches here. So I have my 14 inches, which is somewhere here. And then I'm going to give some allowance, some ease. Alright, so I'll just give 2.5. Okay, 2.5. So from here, I'm going to connect it to this place. Alright, so we're going to connect like a cow, but the cow is not a serious one. Alright, just a very simple one, because this is not a stretchy fabric. This is an Ankara fabric, but it still give you that cow. But if you want to make a cow one and love it so much, you get a stretchy fabric and you will love it more, or a chiffon fabric. So I'm going to connect it to that that sleeve opening. That's somewhere here. That's where I'll connect it. So you see how it went. Now if I'm cutting, I'm going to cut through this way and I'll leave this part. All right, I'm going to leave this part. Now for the shoulder area, I'm going to come down with 1 inch. With 1 inch here, so that I can slope my shoulder with it. So I'll slope with 1 inch. So once I slope the shoulder, I'm going to go straight this way. I'm not sloping this side. This place is going straight. So that's why I used 11 inches instead of 10. Okay, so now once we are through with this part, the down part, this is the down part. And this is my gown length here. So I'll just cut it out. So I'll cut it out. So now I am going to just go down this way. So from that, my hip measurement, I'll go down with a straight line. So I'll just go down with what? A straight line. So this is it. Okay? This is our gown. So you can see, this is the gown. So I'm going to cut it out. Remember, I'll start with the back part. So I'll just cut it straight like this. So remember, you're not cutting here, so you're coming this way, and then we go like this. Okay. Now, once you get to this place, this is how you fold. You can fold with 1 and 2. All right. This is how you fold this part. So I'll just continue with my cutting. So once I was done with this, I'm going to set aside the back part. Remember I said the back part is just going to be that way. I'm not putting any bead on it, so we're going to concentrate more on the front part. All right, so now this is the front part. I'll cut out the neck. So once I'm through with cutting out the neck, that V part, we're going to do that V part. Now how do we do it now? We're going to come to this place. Remember, that's your hip line from this from your neck part. We're going to connect from here. I'll connect it to that hip line. If you want to go deeper, you can as well go deeper, but I'm going to start from here. So I'm going to connect. All right, so I'll cut it out. All right, so make sure you notch that part where you connected from. So it's somewhere around here. So I'm going to notch there, so that if I'm connecting my satin, I will connect correctly. So like I said, for the back part, if you choose to do that way, do it without the bead. There's no problem. I choose to just put only on the front part. All right. So I'm going to use satin to cut out this, and then we are going to start joining. So I'll cut it out from here. And please don't forget to add your allowance. So I'm going to add half-inch allowance from here down part. Alright, so you can see I added half-inch allowance. Alright, I'm going to cut out the facing for the back. I will join this satin to my front part, and then I will close the neck part. I'll trace it out with my fabric. You can decide to cut out the facing for it. That is after joining it to the Ankara. You cut out the facing and face it and put your facing, or you can choose to cut out the bias and cover with a bias. For me, I'm going to use a facing. All right. So with this, I'll join it to the main fabric, and then I'll cut out a facing to cover the neck part, and then I'll come back and show you the next thing to do.
All right, so as you can see, I just joined it now. All right, so I'm going to use this to trace out the facing to cover everything. If you look at it, is I have not faced it yet, so I'm going to use it, trace out the facing, and what we cover it up. So please, if you're doing this, you have to be very, very careful, especially if you're a beginner, or especially on that V part, so that there won't be any mistake on that part. Okay, so once we are done with this, I'm going to also cut out the facing for the back, and also join the back part. So what I'm going to do is to cut the facing, join it both back and front. All right, so you can see I am through with joining the front facing and also the back. I went ahead to join the two shoulders together, and on that sleeve opening, I folded that area. I hope you remember, I folded that part. So this is it, that part I showed you when we were cutting. So I folded that part. So I'll just go and close up my work. I'll just use half inch to close up the work, and then on the bottom area, I'm going to open up like 15 inches on the bottom area, right? This is because I would want to work freely while I'm working. So on the down area, I'll close it, and then I'll leave like 15 inches on the down part. So while I do that, I'm also going to make sure that my rough edges are folded in. I'll also fold the down part, all right? So once I was through with this, I will just start with the beads, okay? All right, so let's continue.
This bead, okay, we're going to use this bead. This is a plastic crystal. This is size I think size 8, so it's what we are using. All right, I actually bought one pack, but I'm not using the whole of the pack because I love beads a lot. So I just bought one pack, though I know I'm not using the whole of the pack. So if you want to use any kind of bead, I think you should go for a crystal because it has this shiny effect to help bring out your work. All right, so let's go finish up, and then we'll start our beading.
All right, so this is the size of the needle I'm using, okay? And I'll be using 0.05 mm of my fishing line. So I went ahead to take my fishing line. I folded it into two. All right, so I'm going to start with covering the neck part. Now, if you think the neck part is too open, you can decide to cover up with bead. So I think it was too open, so I would like to cover it up with the bead. So as you can see, make sure your fishing lines are tied properly. All right. You can also use thread. All right. You can also use normal thread, but I'm using a fishing line because you wouldn't want your bead to start falling off. So that's why I'm using a fishing line. So I am going to start putting our bead. Start inserting the beads. But before you start inserting the bead, make sure you notch the starting point so that it's not going to lose. So what happened was that after I finished putting the first and the second bead, I didn't know our video was not videoing. Okay, like I said, we went off camera to finish up. So I'm going to show us the process just from the beginning, and then will show us the finished look. I believe with this video you'll be able to make yours. All right. So so at this point I left the work for my girls to finish up. All right, so they can also be perfect in what they came to learn. So this is where they were busy doing the beads.
We've come to the end of this tutorial. Okay, these are the beads. I'm through with attaching them. You can see how beautiful they look. All right, but I noticed that these beads are very big, so you can just try out different kind of bead, whichever one that works for you. But I'll be managing this like this. I have a video. I have a client's cloth to make like this. Maybe if I'm making them, I won't use this type of bead because this is looking too big, way too big for me. But it's still beautiful. It came out very beautiful. All right, so if this tutorial was very helpful, please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and also subscribe. I'll see you again in my next class. I am Cynthia. Bye bye.